Okay, I just want to add one thing about reincarnation and what I mean that it's the great equalizer. It means we all have our chances at every role in society. Some poor person of today may have been a king or a pope yesterday. There is deep down no reason to look down on anyone because you have had you have occupied that kind of role in society, or you will occupy it. We are profoundly equal in the sense that we're here to experience, each of us is here to experience all roles, all climates, all forms of life, basically. And there are these profound inequalities that exist in our world, like that between men and women. The male mind has always put women down since it took over here and began the general destruction of the planet. And there's a profound equality between popes and the laity, between everybody. It's time that the scales really fell away from our eyes. We are living in all kinds of illusions, that some are more favored than others, that some are more divine than others. I won't speak about that in 2 seconds. And, all at the basis of it all is the false view of matter that I sketched, that it's really taking matter to be what's real is the source of every other illusion. And so reincarnation puts a very great perspective on us all. And we play our roles on a vast stage. Indeed, we are all immortal beings. We live forever. Get your mind around that. And it's not a static heaven. It's a forever of developing, learning, growing, evolving. We'd be bored to tears after a couple of weeks in heaven. We'd have to have a war or something to make it more interesting. Okay, I'm leaving reincarnation for the second. And so I've spelled out a new universe picture, a new earth picture, a new picture of human identity, and now I'm going to talk about the earth. Spirit. Who, what, and where spirit is. This term consciousness opens right into the fundamental term of every religion, which is simply spirit. And spirit is simply infinite consciousness. And every form of consciousness is actually a form of infinite consciousness, and it's divine and sacred throughout. We are looking at conscious beings in physical form. We are looking at incarnations of spirit. The earth is an incarnation of spirit, an expression of spirit, an embodiment of spirit. Creation is throughout spirit. It's an expression of spirit. Spirit is the fundamental term for the universe I'm going to propose, and spirit has 2 forms. Spirit formless or spirit informed. The physical reality is spirit informed. What we usually refer to as spiritual is, I would call spirit formless. Now, in the West, spirit has a name, I am. When God sends Moses to rescue the Hebrews the Israelites in Egypt, Moses said, well, who shall I say sent me? And God says, tell them, I am sent you. The Gospels of Jesus ring with I am. I am the way, the truth, and the light. I am the sheep gate. I am the true vine. I am the good shepherd. I am. There is something divine about I am. When I ponder this, I think part of it means subjectivity is the ultimate causality in the universe. That the whole universe originates in subjectivity, as our entire lives originate in our subjectivity. I am ultimate, and I think all spirituality has something to do with connecting our I am, or the I am of spirit that is within us, with our little I, our sense of self. a child growing up gets a hold of that term I and metamorphoses almost overnight into a different being, there's something very magical about subjectivity. And so I'm proposing that, in fact, the Native people had it right. Everything is an incarnation of spirit, and it also has its own spirit, has its little I, and is an incarnation of this greater I. Okay, that's the first thing. The consciousness universe is not all consciousness, in fact, is sacred. And it's a divine consciousness that originates everything, that is the very stuff of everything. And the second thing about the consciousness universe has a place for spirit, as the other one didn't. Spirit in the old, on other versions of the scientific image, spirit is either back there kick-starting the process, or it's up there in heaven, or it's wholly other, as the theologians are always asserting. Spirit is right here. It is all around us. It is within us. Okay? And this consciousness universe has a place, not just for spirit, but for spirit as love. Not an emotion, but a great oneness. And of course, this is exactly what the consciousness universe is. It's a great oneness. When you want to find spirit, don't think, sink. Let your boundaries go. Walk out. I find it when you go walk down a city street and feel this oneness. But for me, it comes most rapidly in nature. I just walk out and I have no boundary, and I'm connected with this most incredible. You can feel the love. It's not an emotion, but it's the love. It's what the other end of an emotion is like. And so in the consciousness universe, science has no monopoly on knowing. Religion has no monopoly on spirit. And in fact, the mystics, this is the version of divinity that the mystics know. And the mystics call spirit simply beloved, the beloved. And I put it to you scientifically, this version of spirit you need to try out. Walk out, let your boundaries go, see what you can feel. You can only know spirit through your own existence. And how do we know spirit? First of all, realize what we're living in. We're not just living among living beings, or not just conscious beings in physical form. We're living in an incarnation of spirit. Spirit is everywhere. It's in form, and it's in deep. It manifests really all around us as a great sea of love, light, energy. It's the way consciousness manifests. There are all kinds of ways of experiencing spirit. You can't see spirit, but you can feel spirit. And I walk out the back door and bingo, I'm in religious experience, mystical experience. And it took a while, but then I suddenly realized what I was walking out into, and it's changed the whole, that you walk out into mystery, you walk out into magic. You never know where spirit's going to come to you from. And you can just open yourself, or our ideas, our false ideas are very powerful at keeping reality out. But the true ideas can open us up to, how do you know spirit? You don't know spirit with your mind. Spirit comes through our senses, our souls, our deep psyches, our spirits, our bodies. Saint Benedict wanted his monks to till the soil, to do agricultural work, so they could take in spirit through the senses. Spirit is everywhere, not just up in heaven, only attainable by an army of priests and professors. Nobody needs a course in ethics to teach them what to do. You know that the rule of ethics is harm to none. Apply it yourself. And nobody needs an army of intercessors between themselves and spirit. And so a native elder said once, why would I build a temple to my God when I can go out in nature and meet him face to face? That is a very different version of spirit. This version of spirit is beyond churches. It is beyond religion, organized religion. It's in your own power. What I'm doing with the ideas I'm giving you is empowering you metaphysically. Spirit is everywhere. What is the earth? The earth is an incarnation of spirit. Who are you? You are an incarnation of spirit. Not an image, not an imitation, the real article, with all the fullness that spirit is, that we have not begun to realize in ourselves, and with all the kind of incredible spiritual experience that's available all around us, if we just open ourselves to it. Most of our ideas at this point shut us down from our own truth and from the truth of the earth and the universe, and who, what, and where spirit is. And so I'm proposing that we rewrite the greatest archetype of all of the archetypes. I'm rewriting the archetypes. And because the consciousness universe is all spilled out later, has a place for women. Well, already reincarnation has a place for women, as the old views didn't. What did I want to tell you? I'm going to talk about Jesus in two minutes, but spirit is available everywhere, and our own fullness. We have a divine dark side and a divine light. Religions up until now have always edited. Some parts of it are good, others aren't. God only likes you if you're good, and he doesn't like and he only likes the good parts. So everything else is to be repressed. Well, where does it go when you repress something? It just goes down to the depths of your soul, and then in no time at all, and in the most inappropriate way, it just will erupt in very destructive ways, as we see throughout our world. It's the creation is divine throughout. So are we. Consciousness is divine throughout. Consciousness and matter is divine throughout. And I've said spirit is love. And I would say the view I'm sketching is the true basis of religion, and it's the only base of the true religion. The true religions are spirit is love. There's one principle and practice, it is love. There's one path to follow, it is the path of love. This struggle of the love against the repressive elements, most of which actually originate with religion. The great thing about this moment in our history is that the love is uppermost. And it's an opening in the ages. It's with an unbelievable keys to comprehending ourselves, the universe, like the near-death experience, just available in these times with the high development of science. It's a time that a lot of just totally false and illusory ways of thinking are suddenly so clear that we wondered how we could have stayed there for so long. Check out their funding sources. But their spirit, and spirit is everywhere. The native people had it right, and we can get it right. And it means that we're not being who we are, probably, because we have these very truncated versions of being. We have a dark side. Jung thought the whole of evil, what human beings call evil and do in the way of evil, originates in the fact that we pretend we have no dark side. and we're the good guys. We see this in governments all the time. We're the good guys. We would never do that. Only the Chinese would do that. We would never do that. America's always taking this high moral plane. But, Jung thought 9/10 of us is out of sight. And a lot of it is stuff we don't like about ourselves at all. And rather than admitting that this is part of ourselves and our own richness, we project it onto other people. And we detest it there, and then we make war on them. And, well, we're this good, we're the freedom, we're the free people, and they're the terrorists. Everybody is labeled accordingly, We promote ourselves to the top dog, and we project everything we don't like about ourselves onto somebody else and beat it up out there. It's pretty interesting analysis of evil. And it has great hope for the planet, because all you have to do is bear your own shadow. Have a good look at yourself, part of self-knowledge. And the shadow and everything we don't like about ourselves is an unprecedented, it's like a compost heap. It's just unprecedented source of richness. And so accept it, It doesn't mean you want to, you have to make, one has to make a choice around this. Don't suppress anything about yourself. But at the same time, you may not want to project it all over somebody else. And you may not want to take your anger and rage out on other people. But you need to deal with it yourself. We are vast. We are very large. And we are giants, and we're living as pygmies, basically. We need to, I'm going to speak about this in future, we need to grasp the full possible range of human identity. Okay, that's all I want to say about spirit. Spirit, the greatest of the archetypes, the imago Dei, the image of God. Where is spirit? Who is spirit? How do you find spirit? Go out in nature and reconnect. The version of the universe and the earth I'm giving makes it possible to reconnect. Spirit is not up in heaven. Spirit is right here, in us, in the ground under our feet. It is all divine. I think St. Paul will call it, put on a fresh new spiritual way of thinking. This is what we're living in. This is who we're beating up. We destroy the earth. We're destroying our own experience of spirit. And so throughout this new sketch of reality, I'm emphasizing who, what, and where, what the truth of the earth is. The earth is not a thing. The earth is not commodities and resources. The earth is not, God is not like the watchmaker. The God of Aristotle or the God of Genesis is not the real God. The God who makes creation but is outside it. God is creation. Take the barriers down. All of these old distinctions have been able to put barriers between ourselves and other people, between ourselves and the earth, for sure, and between our rather limited notions of ourselves and the deeper truth of ourselves. I would say the great question of ethics is, well, how do we become the fullness of spirit that we really are? And I would say nobody knows at this point what a full incarnation of spirit looks like. And so here's I would say the one ethical precept that everybody needs to have in mind at this point as we grope our way into new and true reality and ways of being is allowing. Let yourself be who you are and let other people be who they are. It's about freeing up and freeing ourselves from all these constraints that what the man-made religions basically have foisted on us, and finding the very fullness of our own natures and the full divinity of the earth and all of creation. A fully inspirited universe and a fully divine and sacred universe. Okay, now that's all I want to say about spirit for now.